All right, good morning all. Let's get started. We're going to sit on our chairs at the ends, bringing our knees apart so we have a nice stable base support. Our shoulders back so we have good posture. And we're going to start with some deep breaths in. When we're breathing in, we're going to bring our hands up as we inhale. We pause at the top and then exhale as we come down, okay? And we'll do 5 of these here. So coming up. That's 1, and up. 2. 3. 4. 5. Next, we're going to do some cat-cow. So again, sitting at the edge of our seat, we're going to round our spine, bringing our belly button in towards our spine. We're going to use our hands as kind of to give us feedback. So they're going to run down the side of your thighs. You're going to tuck your chin down towards your chest. And then as we sit up, those arms are going to come up our thighs and we're going to stick out our chest. So you should feel those muscles in the back of our shoulder blades working, and a nice stretch for the front there, okay? And we'll do 5 here. We're going to exhale as we're rounding, and we'll take a breath in as we're coming up. So I'm exhaling as I'm rounding down. Big inhale as I come up. That's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Next, we're gonna do some reaches. We're gonna reach forward with our trunk. Our hands are gonna be spread out real wide. You can wiggle your fingers as we sit up. Again, squeezing those muscles in between our shoulder blades. And we'll do 5 here. So reaching forward and back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Next, we're going to do shoulder circles. So we'll start with 5 forward, and then we're going to do 5 in that backwards direction. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next, we'll do range of motion at our neck. So we're going to alternate between looking up and looking down. Each time that I move in a direction, I'm going to count that as 1, and we'll alternate until we get to 10. So looking up at the ceiling, that's 1, and down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Next, we're going to do side to side. So first we'll start from that neutral position, looking over our right shoulder. We'll do 5 in that direction, and then we'll do from that neutral position, looking over our left shoulder. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then switching to the left side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then opening up at the wrists, we're gonna do some flutters with our wrists. We're gonna alternate until we get to 10. So one up, one down, and then we switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Next, we're gonna interlock our fingers and bring our hands in towards our chest, and we're gonna push out. So we'll exhale as we're pushing out, a breath in as we're coming back in, and we'll do 5 here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next, we're going to do some reaching to the side. When I do this reach, I want you to pivot your whole body. So when I reach with my right hand to the left, I'm going to twist my whole body. My head is going to look towards my hand as well, okay? And again, I'm going to start with that right side, reaching to the left. We'll do 5 in that direction, and then we'll switch to the opposite, okay? So with that right hand, we reach, twist. That's 1, and twist, 2, twist, 3, twist, 4, twist, 5. Good. Now we're going to reach in that opposite direction. Again, I'm twisting my whole body as I go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Next, we're going to open up at the hips. So we're going to take a big wide step out to the side and a big wide step in. And I want you to concentrate on really stomping that foot as you move it out and in, okay? So opening up our hips. We'll start with that right side first, and then we're going to switch to the left side. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and switching to that opposite side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Next, we're going to bring our right knee into towards our chest, coming up, and we'll do circles, 5 clockwise, 5 counterclockwise. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and switching. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And opposite side. Again, 5 clockwise, 5 counterclockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and switching. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next, we're going to do some heel and toe raises. I'm going to pan down a little bit so that you can see my feet. So we're going to come up onto our toes and then up onto the heels. The toes come off of the floor. So we're going to alternate with these until we get to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the last one that we'll do is some marching. So with this, we're going to do opposite arm, opposite leg, going together, and we'll alternate until we get to 10 with this one. So really exaggerating that arm and leg swing, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Now that everybody's feeling nice and warm, and go ahead and grab a drink and we'll talk about what we're going to do today. So just a little bit different. We're going to start with some core exercises. We'll do 3 of those to start, 10 with each one. And then after that, we'll move into our circuits. And I'll explain a little bit more once we get to the circuits as well. Okay. So the core exercises are going to be concentrated on activating those deep abdominal muscles that are so important for our posture and providing additional support for our spine. We'll do all of them in the seated position. We're going to start with our posterior pelvic tilts. And when you do this one, I want you to think about tucking that tailbone underneath. So I always like to show it in a standing position. So if I was standing and I do my posterior pelvic tilt, I'm going to tuck my tailbone under and you'll hold 1, 2, 3, and then relax. Okay. If you're doing it right, you should feel those muscles in your belly tighten. Okay. We're going to do it in a seated position. So it's almost like slouching when you tuck it under. You're going to hold 1, 2, 3, and that's 1. And we'll do 10 here. Okay. So tucking under, holding 1, 2, 3, that's 2. And I like to put my hands on my hips and I just kind of think of it as like a dial. I'm rolling my hips back. And when I do that, you should feel those muscles tighten. 1, 2, 3, that's 3. And back. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 5. And tucking under 1, 2, 3, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 7. And tucking 1, 2, 3, 8. And tucking 1, 2, 3, 9. And tucking 1, 2, 3, 10. All right. So the activating the same muscles here. Now we're just going to tighten those muscles without moving at our pelvis. So with this one, you want to think of somebody having a string tied to your belly button and they're pulling it back towards your spine. It's very important that you're able to breathe while you're doing this one. So if this is my belly right here, when I draw those muscles in, my belly comes back. Same thing, we're holding 1, 2, 3, and then relaxing. We'll do this in that seated position again. And don't be afraid to put your hand just over your belly button. You should feel that hand drop when you're pulling it in. So pull in, 1, 2, 3, that's 1. And 1, 2, 3, that's 2. 1, 2, 3, that's 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 5. Halfway. 1, 2, 3, 6. I'm pulling in 1, 2, 3, 7. 1, 2, 3, 8. 1, 2, 3, 9. And 1, 2, 3, 10. Good. Next, we're going to do hip hikes. With this one, we're going to use this muscle that's in between our hip bone and our last rib here. We're going to draw that hip up and then down, and then opposite hip comes up and then down. With this one, we'll alternate until we get to 10. So sitting up nice and tall, we're going to bring that right hip up and down, left hip up and down, up, down, left up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. 2 more. Down, last one. Good. Now we have those cores all nice and activated. It's always important to have good abdominal strength, especially with balance. Okay. So next we're going to go into our circuit Again, we have 3 exercises. We're going to do each one of those 3 exercises twice. We'll do them for a minute, and then we'll have 30 seconds to rotate between those exercises. Okay. So for the first circuit, we're going to do some rocking forward and back in a standing position. Then we're going to do a little bit of a pattern walking, stepping in together, stepping out wide. And then the last one we're going to use with our weight, and we're going to do passing overhead and passing underneath our legs. And we'll go through and we'll show you how each one of those are going to look. Okay. So starting with the first one in that standing position. Kind of similar to our rock and reach, only we're going to do it in the forward direction. So we have one leg forward, one leg back. So looking at it here, I'm going to be in a stride stance, my walking stance here. I'm going to rock onto my toes and then back onto my heel. Okay. So that's what the bottom half of my body looks like. That top half, again, I'm in that walking stance. So one foot is forward, one foot's back. As I rock forward, my hand's going to go up. As I rock back, that opposite hand's going to go up. Okay. So that's what we'll do for the first minute. Switching into the next one, we're going to do pattern in, out, out. So I'm going to pan down again towards my feet. I'm going to start with kind of a more narrow base of support. I'm going to step out, step in, out, in, out, in. Okay, so these first 2 are in standing. You can use your chair to hold on to so that you have something to help with that balance component too, if we need. If you want to do the in, out in a seated position, same thing. Now sitting in our chair, we'll start with that narrow base of support, out, in, out, in. So we can do this one in a seated or standing position. The last one, what we're going to do for our minute circuit is going to be passing overhead. So passing the weight overhead, and then we're going to bring one leg up and pass under, and then overhead, other leg comes up, passing under. Okay, so that will be the third exercise for this circuit. And again, we'll have a minute in each one and 30 seconds to rotate between the 3. Okay, so we're going to get started with that rocking forward and back. Is the first one up on our list. And I got you on time. So that walking stance, rocking forward and rocking back. Good. Halfway there. Good. With this one, I want you to remember which foot was forward, because when we do that second circuit, we're going to switch so that the other leg is forward. Good, switching. We're going to do that pattern. So in, out. We either do it in that standing position or the seated position based on what your comfort level is. We can again have the chair to hold on to as we do that pattern. Okay. We get started in about 10 seconds here. Good, stepping out, in, out, in. And then basing on your comfort level, you can go a little bit faster, a little bit slower to make it either harder or easier. Good, about halfway there. Looks good. 15 more seconds. All right, switching. Coming up next, we're going to do the seated position with that passing overhead and passing under our leg. So again, sitting up nice and tall, having good posture, activating those muscles in our belly as well. And we'll get started here in about 10 seconds. Good, starting passing over and under your leg, over, under. Good. Good, it looks real good right now. Good, about halfway there. Ten more seconds. All right. All right, so that's the end of the first circuit. We're going to do those 3 exercises one more time. So with that standing forward and backward rocking, we're going to switch our feet around. So whichever foot was in the front, that's going to go in the back for this round. Okay, I'll give you about another 30 seconds and then we'll take off. Good, and we're starting. Ready? Halfway there. And last 15 seconds. Good, 30 seconds to transition. We're going to do that pattern blocking, starting with a more narrow base, stepping out and stepping in, okay? And we'll get started in about 20 more seconds. All right, starting, stepping out, stepping in. And remember, we can do this in that seated position as well. Working those muscles on the inside and outside of our thighs. More than halfway there. Ten more seconds. Good. Our chairs, doing that pass over and under. So passing over our head and then under our leg. We'll get started in about 15 more seconds. Good, and starting over, under, over, under. Good. Good, halfway there. And 15 more seconds. All right. All right, so that's the end of the first circuit. Go ahead and grab a drink. And we have one more circuit of 3 exercises. Same thing, we'll do them for a minute on, 30 seconds off. And we'll do 2 sets of each exercise. So we'll run through it first time and then we'll transition and do another one. I'll give you guys about a minute here. I see a few people have stepped away, and then we'll go through all the exercises for the next circuit. Good. Looks like everybody's just about back. We'll go through those 3 exercises. So with this first one, you can either do it in a seated or a standing position. If you do it in the standing position, again, I'm going to pan down so that you can see my feet. And holding on to a chair if you need to in the front, I'm going to bring my foot up, tap, and then in the opposite direction, tap. So I'm bringing it to the side and here. And then I switch legs. So out to the side and then in. Kind of like a line dance move if any of you guys have done that. Don't worry about touching your foot. If you can't get to it, that's okay. Just reach in that position, okay? And same thing if you can do it in the seated position. So if we're sitting down doing it, looks like this. I'm going to bring it in, tap, out, tap, in, tap, out, tap. Okay, so we can do that one in a seated or standing. The next one we're going to do in a seated position, and we're going to do our twist for our core. So holding onto our weights. With this one, the more I lean back, the more I'm going to activate those abdominal muscles. And I want to just turn to one side, center, opposite side, center. So I'll show you what it looks like from the side here. So I'm sitting onto the end, and then I'm leaning back, turning, center, turning, center. You don't want to rush through your exercises. Whenever we're doing an exercise and we're strengthening, the longer that muscle stays under tension, the more efficient we're being with our strengthening. Okay. So that's the second exercise. The last one, we're going to use our yoga mats. And then for this one, we're going to get onto the ground into a kneeling position. Okay. So I'm kneeling. And with this one, I'm going to have a hand weight and I'm going to dip to the side and up, and I can pass it over again and then dip towards that opposite side. Okay. So using those muscles on the side of our stomachs here. Okay. We can also do this in a seated position if you're not able to get up and down to the ground. So if we're in that seated position, it's going to look like this. I'm dipping up, over, and opposite side. Okay. All right. And we'll get it started. So starting either in that seated or standing position with our taps. We're going to do both legs, okay? We'll do 1 minute on. And ready, let's get it started. So tapping down, opposite side, tap, tap, good. Tapping down, good. And like I said, don't worry so much about touching your foot and just get it as close as possible if you can, reaching back. And working on that rotation in our hips here. And weight shifting as well. Weight shifting is always an important component of walking. Good. Ooh, that one went by fast. 5 more seconds. Good. And switching into that twist in our chair, we're going to grab our hand weight, leaning back so that we can activate those abdominal muscles. And we go in about 15 seconds. So again, the more I lean back, the more I'm going to feel it in those abdominal muscles. So I twist, pause for a second or two, come back to that center, opposite direction. Good, about halfway there. Good, 10 more seconds. All right. Getting into that kneeling position on the ground. You can use that chair to help us get up and down as well. And dipping down to the side, reaching towards the ground, back up and over, opposite side, up and over. Good, halfway there. And this kneeling position is always really good because it's a good safe position for us to do exercise in because we're a lot closer to the ground. So we don't have to worry about that, about falling. Good. And that first round's down. Go ahead and take a drink and we start all over in about 30. All right, about 10 more seconds. We'll start with those taps to begin. And we can hold on to the chair in the back here as we do this motion to help with that balance component of it as well. Or we can do it seated in the chair. And starting. Good. More than halfway there. Ten more seconds. All right, transitioning to our twists. Grabbing our hand weight. Starting in about 10 seconds. Leaning back to get those abdominal muscles activated. Twisting. And always important to be able to breathe while you're doing an exercise as well. And if you can, taking those deep breaths in through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. I'm more than halfway there. And 10 more seconds. Good. And transitioning to the floor. Remember, we can do this in that seated position. The important thing is that we're using those side abdominal muscles as we kind of lean down and back up. We're reaching towards the ground when we do that. All right, and dipping down. And working on that shoulder mobility as well as we're reaching up and elongating the spine. Good, more than halfway there. And less than 10. All right. So that is the end of the second circuit. Can go ahead and grab a drink of water. The next thing that we'll do is we'll go through our power series. So today we're going to do that series lying on our back. We can always do it in a seated position if it's too difficult to get up and down from the ground. But I also think another good option for practicing those supine, so laying on your back position, is just leaning up against a wall. So it kind of facilitates that same posture that you would have if you were lying down on your back. Lying down on your back is great because we get assistance from gravity to help us with our posture. So a lot of times with patients that have been diagnosed with Parkinson's, you get that C posture, kind of a rounded position. But when we're laying on the back, we have gravity pushing against us, trying to open up that position. All right. So like I said, the same thing can be practiced leaning against the wall if you have that option available to you. But I'll show you it not only in the lying down on our back, but we'll show it through the seated position for you as well. All right. We'll move over to this side. So I'm going to go through and just show the series on our back, and then I'll show it in the seated position, and I'll give you an idea of what it would look like on the wall as well. So starting first with that power up position, we're going to lay flat onto our back. We can give a little bend in our knees. We want to push down through our heels as well. So if it helps for you to have a slight bend, just to feel what that movement should feel like. Bend your knees, and then I like to do it with my arms up, and then as I bring it down towards the back of the floor, I'm going to push and lift my chest up from the ground. Okay, so our power up in this position here, so really opening up the chest here. All right. Next one is going to be our rock and reach. So similar to that forward and back rocking. With this one, I'm going to turn towards one side. So imagine I'm lying in bed and I'm turning to turn off that alarm clock. That's kind of what this move always reminds me of. And with this one, we're going to alternate till we get to 10. So we'll reach for that one side. I'm twisting through my body as well as I do this motion, coming back down, and then to that opposite side. So again, when we go through the series, we're going to do 10 alternating in this position. The next one is our T. So opening up wide. Again, with this one, I'm turning with my whole body. I can use my foot to kind of give me some leverage as I twist and open and twist and open. So try to make that tapping noise as you're bringing your hands together. The head is going to follow the hand as well. So we're feeling that twist in our upper spine as well. All right. So again, with those last two, we're going to alternate between the sides until we get to 10. And then the last one is going to be our power step. So with this one, we're going to start with both knees bent, lying back, and I'm going to step out and reach my same side arm out to the side, and then stepping in and opposite. All right, so we're going to alternate until we get to 10 with that one as well. And I'll show you just real quickly what it will look like in the seated position and on the wall. So if I use the wall to kind of help me out with this position here. So same thing, my arms up, pushing back, lifting my chest off. Okay, so that would be the power up. And then my reach is going to be reaching to the side, down, opposite side, my head follows my hand. So I have that wall to help me with the balance component as well. The twist, opening up for that T, twisting. My whole body is pivoting. My head is following my hands as well, okay? And then the step, I'm gonna step out together, okay? Same thing in the chair. I feel pretty confident that you guys have seen this move a time or two, but power up, good. I'm gonna go kind of quickly through these, and then our reach. So our elbow comes down, our forearm comes down to our knee, our leg kicks up, body turns, okay? The twist or the step, okay? So again, I'm gonna be doing it lying on my back. Those are the other two options if you're not able to get up and down from the ground. And we'll go through and we'll do a set of 10. All right, starting with that power up. And again, I can have a little bit of bend through my knees. And I'm gonna push down through my legs as well as I'm bringing my chest up, okay? My arms start up and we're gonna go, ready, coming down, lifting up. That's 1, get ready. 2, get ready. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, next we're gonna go into that rock and reach. So remember, I'm using my leg here to twist my body, and we're gonna alternate from side to side. We'll do 10 total here. So rocking, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Next one is going to be our twist. So again, I can use my leg to assist me with this. I'm going to open up my arms wide in that T position for twist, and we're going. And open, that's 1. And open, 2. Open, 3. Open, 4. Open, 5. Open, 6. Open, 7. Open, 8. Open, 9. And 10. So moving next, we're going to do our power step. Okay, so both knees are going to start in a bent position, and we're going to alternate again with this one till 10. So stepping out and reaching with our arm to the side, together, out, 2, out, 3. I want to draw my attention to my hand as I'm moving it out. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So we'll go through that series just one more time, okay? We'll head off in about 10 more seconds. So starting with that power up to begin, and we'll do 10 in this position. Ready? Power up and 1, up 2, up 3, up 4, up 5, up 6, up 7, up 8, up 9, up 10. Good. And heading right into that rock and reach. We're going to do 10 total here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't forget to look at your hand. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Heading into our twist. So opening up big, T for twist. And open. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Last one, we're doing our power step. So legs starting together. We're going to step out, together, out, together, out, 3, out, 4, out, 5, out, 6, out, 7, out, 8, out, 9, out, 10. All right. How we feeling? Ray looks like they're doing well. And we'll end with our cool down, doing some stretches, okay? So give you a little bit of time to get situated. So we'll start with some stretches at our neck. The first thing that we'll do is we're going to bring that right ear towards our right shoulder. We want to keep that opposite shoulder from hiking up on us. So we're stretching this muscle that's on the side here. So in order to facilitate that, I can hold on to the bottom of my chair that kind of locks the shoulder into that position. I bring my ear towards my shoulder. If I want, I can use my hand to give a little light, gentle tug, overpressure. This should feel like a stretch. It shouldn't feel painful. Good, and switching to that opposite side. Again, I can anchor that shoulder by holding the bottom of my chair, bringing that left ear towards my left shoulder, giving light overpressure with my opposite hand. You should feel that stretch now on your right side. Good. Next, I'm going to stretch that muscle that comes from the tip top of my shoulder blade to the back of my head. So to do this one, it's almost as if I'm trying to put my nose into my armpit. So I'm going to bring my head down, turn to the side. I can give a little bit of overpressure into this position as well. into that opposite side, and bring my head down, turn towards the side, can give overpressure. Good. Next, I'm going to bring my right hand across my body. I'm going to hug it towards my chest with that left arm. And I can do some circles with my wrists while I hold. I'll do 5 in one direction, and then I'll switch and go into that opposite direction. Good, and switching sides. Now my left arm is going to come across my body. My right arm is going to hug it in towards me, and I do those wrist circles. Good, and switching. Good. And stretching through my trunk. I'm going to bring my left hand. It's going to come to my right knee. And then I'm going to twist. That opposite hand's going to hold on the back of my chair. So I give a little bit of overpressure and holding here. Good, and switching. So my right hand is going to come to my left knee. The opposite hand is going to come back to the chair, and I'm going to give a twist and hold that position while I feel a stretch. Good. Stretching the muscle in the back of my leg. I'm going to straighten my leg all the way. I want to make sure that it's not bent at all at the knee, so that I get a stretch to that muscle that's in the back of my thigh. So once that leg's straight, I'm going to bring my body down forward, and I'm going to pause once I start to feel that stretch. And again, when we're stretching, it should always feel like a moderate stretch, but it should never feel like it's causing you pain. And switching sides. And that leg's all the way straight, hinging at the waist till I feel that stretch. Good. All right, everybody, that's all I have for you. Thank you for joining me today, and have a good week.